What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Foodie Filmmaker, back at you yet with another episode. Let's go. All right, so I know I did say in the previous episode that we were going to go live and everything on the TFF.podcast Instagram. However, I did not announce it, but we're still going to go live in just a little bit, actually. We're just going to go live and we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to tune in, but we're just going to go live right now without anybody knowing. So whoever's available to tune in at the time that I go live here on Instagram, then, you get to ask a few questions. I'm not going to go live for too long, though. I'm going to try to keep it short, maybe like 10 minutes, because I will spend some of this podcast times talking about certain things that I have already on my phone here. So I want to focus on those, but then towards the end, maybe the last 10 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and go live and see if a cool question or comment or something comes up there that I'll address within that 10-minute period. And then if it extends longer, it extends longer. But, that's kind of my plan there. And so, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. First of all, let's go ahead and mention the fact that it is kind of hot in here. I need to tell the guys to get some AC in here because it is pretty hot. I'm actually burning up in here. I'm sweating. I don't know if you guys can see it on the podcast there. Probably not, because I don't think it gets that close enough to capture those kind of details. This camera here, the DJI Osmo, but I am sweating. And so, but anyway, we're going to get through this podcast. It was kind of a random kind of surprise one as well, or else I would have announced the live. But it was kind of a thing here. I have a short day here in Pasadena. I'm just going to do a few things here. Just came to edit, work. And so I pretty much finished all that, so I'm going to do this podcast episode right now, and I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. So I just want to get in a real quick one right now for you guys. So today we're actually going to do a similar one that I did to maybe like 2-3 episodes ago, maybe 2, where I said I was going to go on Threads, which is the new app from Meta. Where I was going to pretty much, pick out topics from Threads, because I see a lot of content creators kind of like to openly express themselves there, as opposed to Instagram and other platforms where they would normally just post content. In this app, a lot of more creators feel a little bit more like this is an app kind of designed for you to kind of voice your opinions and voice a lot of the things that are happening currently in the foodie industry and kind of be more open with it. So that's pretty cool, so I don't personally do that. Like I said, I personally like to do that more here in the podcast because I feel like this is a better platform to do that instead of having to go back and forth on a thread online on social media. I personally don't have the time to be doing that because I just have a lot of work, so I don't have time to be going back and forth into, certain things and topics and everything. So I pretty much just like to address whatever I want to address here in the podcast. I can do it with a little bit more detail, and it gives me time to really think about whatever the topic is and be able to share it with you guys, and at the same time, not only just address it, but kind of give you guys an informational take on it as well, something educational that you guys can take with you and apply for yourselves in your creative journey. So without further ado, let me go ahead and pull up some of the stuff here that I found as I was browsing the Threads app. This was maybe 2-3 days ago. So let me go ahead and look through my phone. I have so much footage here. But I found it. So I'm not going to mention any usernames just because I don't want to put anybody on blast. I don't want anybody going out there and looking for this person. Why would you say such a thing? Why would you put that on Threads and stuff like that? At the same time, I don't want to start anything. Like I said, I've had a lot of those, misunderstandings, a lot of disagreements, a lot of beef that happened in the beginning of my foodie journey, and I had enough of it. Really, I don't really think it leads anywhere healthy. Besides just going back and forth, and it's just not really the creative way to go. Really, at the end of the day, like if you want to stay creative, like I spoke in a previous podcast, you always want to focus on positive emotions, positive energy. That's what's going to keep you staying creative. Not focus on this negative stuff that's going to keep you in a loophole where you're just constantly going through negative spirals where you want to, do things that are more on the negative side. So you want to stay creative, you want to stay positive. So that's what we're trying to do here. So that's my goal with this podcast. That's my goal when I'm going to address these things. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing that I have here says, if your food shots don't make people hungry, you're not a food creator, you're just eating online. And I completely agree with this, actually, because I, for the most part, like to really focus on quality. If you guys have noticed on my personal page here at the Foodie Filmmaker, you guys can see that I put a lot of detail into the videos, the way everything is shot. I like to color grade everything so everything looks at least the best that it could. I'm not saying that it's perfect, but it's going to look as good as possible, that I think it looks good and it looks appetizing for the viewer at the end of the day. And that's really my goal. And I've said that previously in previous episodes. I've said that to creators in person. I always try to make everything look appetizing at the end of the day. My goal is not to go viral. It's not to get a bunch of views or stuff like that, or play to the algorithm, or jump on trends that are going to get me lots and lots of views, right? My goal is for people to watch the video and at the end of the day be like, wow, that looks really good. That actually looks like it's tasty. Like I actually want to go and try that out, so that's personally my goal. Like I want people to have that thought. I want people to think that way. I want people to see the food on my page and feel excited enough to go and try the food and go support the business and, go try it for yourselves, like maybe you have a different opinion about it. And so that's what's fun about, trying different foods. At the end of the day, sometimes we're going to agree on the fact that certain place is good, and then sometimes we're not going to agree, and sometimes you're going to like a place that you're going to like and I'm not going to like it, and so that's perfectly fine. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all foodies. We all enjoy food at the end of the day, which is what brings us together. We don't necessarily have to like the same food at the end of the day, but the fact that we have a passion and love for food, that's really what counts at the end of the day. So yeah, but as a creator, I think you have a responsibility to showcase the food in the best way possible, in the way that is appetizing. So I have seen some creators, not going to call out anybody obviously, but there are creators out there where I see the way they showcase and highlight the food. It's not the best way. Like it's just not, they're not really utilizing the best angles, the best shots. They're really not really capitalizing on the fact that every single food has its good side. It has its positives. It has its advantages, it has its upsides, and that's really what you want to highlight at the end of the day. Like I've always said in every video, like I personally like to tackle it from a perspective of a marketer. So I like to pretty much, like when I go to a restaurant, when I agree to go and do a collab, I have a responsibility. I have a job. I have a job to really go out there, take whatever food is given to me and highlight it in the best way possible. If it tastes good or it doesn't, that's really up to me, and that's really gonna determine if I even upload the video or not. Because if I don't like it, I'm not gonna upload it. But if I'm gonna upload it, if I have come into terms to the fact that this is good food, then I'm gonna do my best in order to highlight it and make it look like the best thing possible, the best thing that there is in that block, in that city, wherever it is. If it's a burger joint, I'm gonna say this is the best burger joint in that area because it probably is. I mean, if it was good enough for me to post it and I tried it and I thought it was delicious, then I need to do a service. I need to make sure that I transfer that message onto the content. So not only should I say that it's really good and delicious and tasty, but I need to showcase that through my shots, through my pictures, through my videos, through whatever shots that I use, through my voiceover, through the words that I use in the voiceover, through everything. It's gotta look good. It's gotta look sharp. It's gotta look clean. It's gotta really highlight and be able to show. You gotta be able able to showcase that in the best way possible, and showcase it too, and just not like not only as a standalone, but also like how can it work in conjunction with other parts. So if it's a burger, you can always throw in like a drink, you throw in some fries, throw in like some side, some sauce that really goes well with that burger. You can dip it, you can pour it on top of the burger, highlighting that not only is this burger good, but you can enhance the flavor and everything just by adding this sauce to it. And so that's you really portraying and showing the people that, hey, like there's these many ways that you can enjoy this kind of food, and you don't have to just enjoy it the simple way of just taking a bite out of the burger itself. You can modify it by adding certain things. You can pour sauce on it, certain ingredients that you can add or remove, pair it up with another side, or maybe take that side and put it inside the burger, build crazy things like that, right? So at the end of the day, you want to make it look good. You want to make it look really presentable in order for the average person to just be scrolling through their social media and see that and be like, wow, that looks really good. That looks very appetizing. I'm going to put that on my list. I'm going to save it. I'm going to screenshot it. I'm going to do whatever, wherever it is that I record, that I like to keep my stuff for future reference whenever I'm craving that kind of food, or I'm undecided, I don't know where to go and eat. I can look back to that place and look at my screenshots or look at my notes or wherever it is that I recorded it and see that, hey, there's that place that I saw last time on Instagram by the Foodie Filmmaker, whatever, and I thought it was really good. So now I'm gonna go, and so that's really the point. I think at the end of the day, when it comes to this content, when you're making content for a restaurant, it's really to highlight it in the best way possible. And yes, I agree. If you're not really doing that at the end, you're just eating online. You're just basically just sharing your experience. You're basically just like a lifestyle blogger, just kind of letting people know what you're doing on your day to day. And that's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, I would say that if you're a solid food content creator, that is your job. Make sure you highlight the food in the best way possible, that it looks appetizing. Don't just upload content that has the food in it, because like I said, that makes you more of a lifestyle content creator, which is fine. But then I would suggest you change your title completely and just stick to lifestyle, where you just go around and you're just eating food, but you're not really focused on highlighting the food, because at the end of the day, at that point, it's not really you highlighting the food. It's not you marketing the food. It's you just marketing yourself and really showing your life and showing the great things that you are doing. So you're basically the product now. It's not really the food itself. And so yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that one right there. Now we have another one. This is a much longer one, so let me go ahead and read that for you. I don't mean to rant so much, but hold on, let me start again. I don't mean to rant so much, but PR marketing companies are seriously starting to sound like a joke. Inviting influencers for a limited food compensation, then ask for a list of deliverables, then to get rights to your content without any monetary compensation is crazy. While getting paid thousands of dollars, they can't find the budget for content. We all know they would have to pay way more to hire. Stop using content creators like cheap free labor to promote. So there's another one of those. Threads here where conversations where it's like, should the creator get paid or not, right? And at the end of the day, like I said, I have a whole episode where I break down the criteria for which if you should be getting paid or not. But just to kind of touch on this right here, yes, like sometimes, yes, I do agree that there are restaurants that do kind of take advantage of the creators, and they make like these huge list of deliverables where it's like, oh, you gotta give me this, 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 right? As if you kind of were working for them, as if you were getting paid. And I think there is a fine line there where, like, yes, I understand that there is a certain expense provided by the restaurant. As far as the food goes, obviously the food is not free. Obviously, the restaurant has to pay for the ingredients, has to pay for all the supplies and everything that it takes in order to put together the the actual product, which whatever the food is, and also they're paying for the labor, so they're paying the employees in order for them to assemble whatever the product is, right? So there is an expense as far as like the restaurant goes. However, yes, I do believe that the restaurant should at least get something if they're investing that into if they're investing all that into a creator, so they should expect something from the creator. But I think there's a fine line where it's like the value itself should kind of be in accordance to whatever you're giving them. So some places they're very generous, right? So they'll give you like pretty much anything from the menu. They'll say, you know what, bring whatever 2-3 guests with you, and you guys can pretty much have anything on the menu, just as long as you film it, whatever, right? And then there's places where they limit you, where they're like, okay, you can only get like 3 items and 1 drink or something, right? Or 2 items and 1 drink. I've seen places where they only give you like 1 item and 1 drink, and okay, that right there, I think is a little ridiculous because, like I said, it's like, the creator is also investing time. You got to think about that as well. It's not like the creator is not investing anything either in going to your restaurant and filming for you and creating content. Like it also takes, it takes time out of the creator's day. It also takes it could also take money because sometimes they got to drive there, so there's the gas money, or if they're not driving there, they at least got to pay for something, for an Uber, or they got to pay for someone to give them a ride, or something like that. Best case scenario, they get a ride from someone, from a friend or something, and the creator isn't spending anything and going there. But that's not always the case. It might happen here and there, but for the most part, you're paying some way, somehow. And so because of that, there's already some deduction as far as like, okay, like I'm having to travel all the way over there. Now, obviously, the time that's required by the creator now, because now the creator needs to invest some of their time creating the content. They're bringing the equipment as well. It's not like the restaurant is providing them with the phone and with all the editing software that's needed in order to put the content together, right? So the creator is putting all that. They're putting their own equipment, they're putting their own time, their own creativity also, which I don't really think you can put a price on that besides the amount of years of experience you may have, creating content. But at the end of the day, like they're putting all of that into creating the whole content itself here. So it kind of balances out at the end of the day, the content creation part, and then like whatever the restaurant is providing. But you have to make it make sense. So you have to evaluate and see like, okay, like what do you want out of the entire thing? So like I said, if you're not going to be paying the creator, there's little to almost no control of what you can expect from the creator, because you're not paying the creator. This is not a business transaction. This is just kind of a thing where, like, yes, you're hooking them up with food and stuff, but at the end of the day, like, it should really be up to the creator if they want to create content for you, and what kind of content they want to create for you, and how much content they want to create for you, because there isn't really, like, it's kind of hard to really impose a contract or impose something like that, because it's not a business transaction. There's no money involved. You're not paying the creator in order to do something. You're just kind of bribing the creator, really, at the end of the day, to create content for you, and you're giving them free food, which, like I said, it's not really something that's that valuable in order to start creating demands. Because here's the thing too, while you may be hooking up the creator with a lot of food, sometimes that creator doesn't even eat all that food, or sometimes they're not even doing it because of that. Some creators are just looking for places to create content, and they're looking for places that are willing to basically give away food for free in order to create content. Why? Because this is kind of like how would you call it? Almost like a cheat code, almost like a way to speed up your content creation journey here, because if you're able to get restaurants to give you free food, obviously you're able to kind of create more content because you're not having to pay for the food along the way, as opposed to if you had to constantly be paying for every single video that you're making. It could be a little bit slower, because you're spending your own money, having to go out to all these places, having to buy food. Obviously, if you're making good money, you have a job outside of this, and this is kind of just like your hobby, then probably it's not really a problem if you just have to go and buy everything, because you have some sort of income to provide for that. But for some people, they're making this their entire living, such as myself, and so you can't be going to every place and having to pay for the food every single time. It's just not really feasible. So here's the thing, like at the end of the day, like it's something that it's kind of a gray line there. It's a little bit tough just because it's something that really should be determined at the end of the day by the creator and by the restaurants themselves, because some creators are okay with it, some creators are not. I've done every single collab, so I've done those where I only get one item and one drink in exchange for an entire 30-second reel. And just by saying it right now, that might sound a little ridiculous, right? You might be like, "What? How are you making such an exchange?" Right? They're only giving you one drink and one item out of their menu, and you have to create an entire 30-second reel. You have to use your own equipment. You have to get the shots. You probably have to film in the kitchen, right, as they're making the product, and then you have to probably film yourself eating it, and then you're probably adding a voiceover over it. These are all skills. These aren't things that one just naturally knows how to do, right? You need to put in some practice in order to nail these things down and make it look good at the end of the day. So if you put in some practice already, you already have experience doing all of these things, and you already have a good understanding of creating content for the food industry, I would suggest that, yes, accept your gifted collabs where they give you free food in exchange for content, but let it be something that you're comfortable with, because I think at the end of the day, it really depends on the creator. It really depends, like if they're okay with it or not. I think some creators are okay with this, some are not. Some creators obviously will definitely, like, they're completely allergic to gifted collaborations, so they won't take any collaborations that are for free. Like, they'll only take paid ones. And there's some that do mixed, like myself. I don't really demand payment from every single collaboration that I do. There are some where I do it if the place is kind of far, just because like I need to at least make some money, just because I have to pay for Uber, having to go over there, and then having to come back. So there is some of that. Obviously, if the deliverables are going to be high, and there's not going to be much food given to me, then obviously I have to charge as well, because I could give you those deliverables. Like, I don't care. Like, for me, like, once I make the visit, once I'm there, I can give you as many deliverables as you like, but I need to be compensated for them as well. I can't just be doing them for free, because I feel like it's a disrespect to the clients that I have, because I'm basically utilizing my entire experience, in which I have a lot, because not only do I work with my own page here at the Foodie Filmmaker, but I work with other clients as well, real restaurants, which I manage their social medias for, and I'm creating content constantly. And so I have lots of experience in a variety of with a variety of food. It's not just, I'm not just sticking to one particular type of food as well. So I have a lot of experience with different, types of food. And so I'm bringing all that experience to your place. And I'm, like, that's something that you can't really put a price on, because, that's experience that, it just comes with me, and being able to create content like that for you. And so, at the end of the day, whatever you're comfortable with, if you feel like you need to charge, then charge. If you feel like maybe it's a place that's, really close to your house, and you really like the food, and you're a big fan of the place or something, and you're a big fan of the food, you're a big fan of the brand itself, you want to support, then by all means, just do the gifted collab, or by all means, go even pay for the food if you want. I've seen people that do that. They just they want to help out and support the community, so they'll just go and pay for the food, and they'll still create a really nice piece of content. So it really depends on you and the creator, really what you guys are comfortable with. I would say, like, really keep it in mind, though, like, really consider everything. Obviously, I would encourage you to never do a deal that you're not comfortable with, unless of course you're just starting off. When you're starting off, you kind of have to do things that you're not really comfortable with. I remember I did collabs that there was places where I didn't even like the food. There was places, I will admit, I just took all the food and I just threw it away, just because I was not interested in that food at all, or I had just heard bad things. But they had a big page, and I knew that if I collaborate with them, it would expand my reach. I would be able to connect with other creators or something. I attended events that I really didn't want to, but the creators were there, so I wanted to go just to meet the creators itself. I didn't really care about the whole food itself. Like, it was just like whatever's, like, yeah. So there are things that you got to do in the beginning, and even throughout your journey, there'll be things that you'll have to do that you're not really comfortable with, but you got to really look at it long term and see, like, okay, if it's not comfortable to do, then is it at least going to help me advance forward in my, whatever my goals are in the foodie journey? Is it going to help me, potentially be able to talk to that one client that I want to talk to? Or maybe if I do this collab, I could possibly meet up with a certain creator there. I really want to meet the creator, so I'll go ahead and get through this collab or whatever, just so that I can, be able to meet this creator. Or, like, I've done collabs where, like, I've sometimes I get really busy with clients, and so I don't have time to schedule anything. And so sometimes I just ask my fellow creators, like, I'm like, hey, like, I saw you collaborated right there, man. Can you, like, hook me up there? And, like, these are places that are, like, really close to my house or something. I'm just like, hey, can you hook me up? And they'll be like, yeah, for sure. So they'll talk to the restaurant, they'll reference me, and then the place itself will kind of hit me up, and I'll just kind of come through. And sometimes I don't even care about the place itself, like, the food looks like it's whatever, and I'll still go and I'll still make a nice clean piece of content. And that's just all with the intention of me filling up my grid, like, I need to post some content. I haven't had time to schedule collabs with the places that I really want to go to, so I'm just going to collab with whoever instead of just leaving it blank there, instead of just leaving my whole grid empty, instead of not posting anything for that week. I'm going to post something. I'm going to post whatever, like, whatever I'm able to for the moment. And then once I'm able to clear up my schedule now, I'm able to, contact the places that I really want to go to, and then, continue that way. And that way, like, I'm still consistent. I'm still doing what I have to. And yeah, that's pretty much how you would manage that. But pretty much, when it comes to those things, it's really up to you, the creator, whatever you're comfortable with. If sometimes things must be done, and when things don't need to be done, don't do them, because they'll hurt your self-esteem. You'll pretty much feel really bad about it at the end of the day. You'll be like, damn, like, this sucks, like, why am I even, like, creating content for this place? Like, they completely just ripped me off, or they just took advantage of me. It's not worth it. So remember, if you're going to put yourself in that situation, at least have some sort of purpose, some sort of reason that it could benefit you in the long run. So yeah, so let me see. Let me go ahead and continue here. Let me see. I lost the thing. Oh, yeah. All right, so this is going to be the last one here. This is going to be the last one. All right, so here we go. I love these creators who get invited to film events and premieres, and the extent of the content they make for the movie as a carousel post of photos or a 9-second video with text on the screen with a call to action in the caption for the movie's release, simply documenting whatever the event or premiere has provided for them, bringing zero creativity of their own. You're really pushing the envelope or originality, aren't you? Let me reread that one, actually. Let me see. I love those creative. Okay, so yeah, so this is a thing that happens commonly in the foodie community, and I noticed this with myself too when I was just starting off, when I was doing events, where it could be kind of, it could be kind of natural and very easy to get carried away by the event itself, and then you forget to kind of capture, the good stuff. You forget to really highlight the reasons why people should be going to this event besides the things that are already out there. So the thing is with the event is that there's things that happen all the time, right? So there's things at the events that people probably don't know about. Things that the event itself, the event organizers are not marketing enough, and so that's why you're there as a content creator to seek those things, seek the things that are possibly not being advertised just yet, and it's your chance to advertise them. Or possibly there's things that maybe are being marketed by the event organizer, but they're being marketed for a specific reason, and for a specific reason, and then you have a different reason why, why it could also be kind of fun to join, right? And so, at the end of the day, I think when you're going to an event, it could be, like I said, very easy to get carried away. But at the same time, if you're getting invited to an event, which doesn't happen very often, especially when you're starting off. Obviously, when you're starting to get bigger, you get invited to all these kind of events. But I think it's a privilege, because I think a lot of creators are not acknowledging the fact that some of these events cost hundreds of dollars to get into. And if you're just going to turn out a 9-second reel where like everything is just quick and you're just going to be putting basic text on your video, like the thread said here, I think that's a disservice to really the people who let you in, the people who invited you to come in as a content creator and highlight the whole experience of this event, because that's just unacceptable, because there's just no way you can highlight the advantages and the features and really the cool parts of the event in a 9-second reel. Like, what are you just gonna like speed through the whole thing? Speed run through the whole entire event? Like, that's just not right. And so, yes, like I said, like you should, at the end of the day, like if you're going to an event and you're getting free access, just know that, that's basically like your payment. Unless, of course, you're getting paid on top of actually getting invited, which is even crazier, because now, you're getting access to an event that would have costed hundreds of dollars to get into. And on top of that, you're getting paid as well. And that, when it's that scenario, you should definitely not be turning out 9-second reels that are poorly done. You should definitely be putting a lot of emphasis, because, like I said, as a creator, you're being trusted. You're being trusted with getting free access. You're being really taken care of at the end of the day with really beyond VIP experience, because VIP still gotta pay to get in, but you're getting in like for free. All they're asking is for you to create content. All they're asking is for you to please look at our events and please highlight the best parts of it. Highlight as much as you can. Let people know how cool this event is. Get them hyped. Give people FOMO. Get people to be like, God damn, I need to be there. If I didn't go this year, I need to be there next year. Whatever the case may be, you need to get people excited. You need to get people hyped up, to go to this event. And sometimes that is not the case. I see people that I personally been to events where I go and I, highlight the event. I get really nice comments like, oh my goodness, that's such a cool event. I'm going to go next year and everything, right? But then I see like other creators create content for that, and then they create like this. They try to integrate like a trendy type of style video and then put that into the event. and then that makes the clip like really short, where it just goes through really quick segments, and I'm like, come on, like that's very lazy work. And that really tells me that you didn't really put in the effort. You didn't really value the fact that you got invited. And at that point, I think you shouldn't even have gotten invited. You should have actually, if you were going to do that, I think you should have paid for your entrance, because you definitely are not worth of going in there for free if you're going to be creating that kind of content. Like I said, you should be creating content that's good, that really gets people excited. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's what I had to say about that. Make sure that if you get invited to an event, take advantage of it. Know that you're privileged, really, at the end of the day, to be able to get invited, because not every creator gets invited to these kind of events. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of creators who will be looking at your content and will be like, God damn, I wish I would have gotten invited. I would have done such a better job. And I can assure you there's a lot of creators who are ready to take your place. And yeah, and so yeah, unfortunately there are creators who are like that, who will just create lazy work. And like I said, this is a podcast that is opposed to that. And I'm helping you in this podcast and throughout all the episodes to create better content, to create content that's of high quality, that's good for not just, the algorithm, but also for the consumer. At the end of the day, whoever's watching your content, to make sure that they enjoy, they see something that's really cool and enjoyable to watch at the end of the day, so that they're excited about it, gets people pumped, and gets people to either go and visit the restaurant, or in this case go and check out the event, get a ticket, take someone with them too, and enjoy, have a good time. And yeah, so that's pretty much it regarding that part right there. And that was pretty much it, I think. Those were pretty much the topics that I wanted to cover in this podcast. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Guys, if I sound a little dead, it's because I haven't eaten anything. I haven't ate nothing. Actually, I ate like a small cookie in the morning, but that's it. I haven't had any lunch, and it's like 1:43 right now at the time that I'm making this podcast. So I haven't eaten anything, nothing. Nothing. I'm basically making this podcast on an empty stomach. It almost feels like it. My stomach is grouching right now. I haven't eaten anything. I'm just drinking some water right now. I'm feeling a little shaky too. Just because I haven't eaten, I haven't done anything. All right, so we're actually gonna go live right now. No. All right, so we're actually gonna go live on Instagram here. Let's see. I'm not sure. I don't think anyone's going to tune in, really. I really don't think so, but let me see. Oh, nice. I got to like my own reel there. Let's see if we go live. It says that there are 10 active followers. Let me adjust the camera there. All right. We're going to be saying hi to this camera. We're going to be saying hi to that camera. And then we're going to go back and forth a little bit. Remember, we're only going to be doing this. We're only going to be doing this for like 10 minutes. And then hopefully somebody tunes in. If nobody tunes in, then we're just going to close it. Actually, if nobody tunes in 5 minutes, I'm going to close the whole live, because I don't want to be sitting here, talking to nobody, which I have been doing, obviously, with the podcast, but right here we're recording a podcast. Right here we're going live. We're expecting somebody to show up and kind of talk to us. But yeah, so let's go ahead and click it here and let's do it. 3, 2, 1, and we are checking the connection, and we are live. We are live, guys. We are live on the TFF.podcast Instagram. If you guys don't follow us, make sure you follow us. Make sure you follow me at the TFF.podcast Instagram. Follow us there so you guys can catch me on some of these lives. And who knows? Whatever I decide to do, I do have some ideas actually that I want to execute on the TFF.podcast Instagram, and some here on YouTube as well. I want to start doing like some more like personal content, more like I guess more like lifestyle. So I want you guys to see kind of like behind the scenes, what happens with the Foodie Filmmaker. Maybe you could see me like behind the scenes where I'm like filming for a restaurant, or maybe I'm talking to my team, or maybe I'm collaborating with somebody, or like right now, I'm shooting a podcast episode, and you guys can kind of see how it looks behind the scenes, and kind of just tune in and maybe ask something live, stuff like that. So I wanna be able to do some stuff like that, so you guys can kind of get a more personal look at how I go by my day. Not that it's gonna be easy, because I'm constantly on the run. I'm constantly going and doing things, and if I'm not doing that, I'm most likely just editing. So that's probably not something that you guys are gonna want to see. Just me sitting there on my phone, just going like boom, 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 and then just editing and stuff, right? I did think about doing like maybe like editing tutorials. I know a lot of people have been asking me like how do you edit, like how do you speed up your edits, how do you make them look better, how do you edit in general, like how do you piece together all your shots. Like, is there like an idea beforehand before you go and shoot, or is that something that you come up with on the spot, or like how does it work? And so there's a combination of both. I gotta say, there is a formula which I could share at some point in the future, but for now, we're just kind of I'm just kind of giving you tips and stuff here, because I do want to put that into a more like a cohesive course, something that's a little bit more comprehensive, where people can follow a step-by-step kind of process. And I'll only kind of want to make that accessible to the people who are really interested, because I don't want to share that kind of information that's more like, step-by-step, that's more curated, that's more carefully put together in a system, to people that are just kind of just doing this out of a hobby, or just kind of like, they're not really taking it that serious. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't want to waste your time, having to listen to me going step by step. You're probably not even that interested. You probably just want like a quick kind of thing, like, hey, just use this app or use this thing, and it's going to put everything together for you, and it's going to look nice and awesome. You can go about your day, right? If you're going to create quality content, it takes steps, and it takes a lot of effort and special mindsets and techniques, strategy. And, those are things that I could teach you, but it needs to be to people that are really interested, people who are already passionate about this, who want to get better, who want to improve. And so to those people, I'm going to make this accessible, still thinking about how I'm going to go about that. So there is a possibility that this might become kind of a paid wall type of deal, where you will have to pay either monthly, or it will be just a flat out fee where you guys can pay for the entire if I do end up putting like a course together, you guys can just pay like a one-time fee for that course, or it could be like a monthly thing where I jump on live calls, or maybe I share with you guys like a specific strategies just for that month. There's a couple ways we can go about this, and so I need to put that together in order for us to basically come to some way where it could be beneficial, not just to me, but it could be beneficial to you guys as well. I'm watching here. And so, yeah. So as of now, I'm watching the Instagram here. There's absolutely nobody tuning in. Nobody. Even though I saw that there was like 10 active users on Instagram. What's up with that? What's up with the support? There's no support on the TFF.podcast. None. Zero. Nada. Not even one person has like came in and like snooped around and like left, nothing. There's like no viewers whatsoever. And so I don't know, maybe I need to go live a little bit more often here, just so that people get used to it, and then like eventually somebody feels confident enough to jump in here. Maybe they're shy, maybe they're working, I don't know. Like a lot of people, so some of you guys in the audience here have full-time jobs, so maybe you guys are unable to tune in. Obviously, if you have a full-time job, you're working in an office, you're working somewhere where you need to be working, continue working. All right, don't jump out of your work job and just to come live here. All right, like, we will be going live many more times in the future. This is kind of just the first time. I kind of just wanted to do it for the first time and see what happened. Obviously, nothing's happening. I'm about to turn it off because it's about to hit the 5-minute mark, like I said. And if nobody's going to tune in, I'm just going to close it, and we're going to end the podcast right now. But, yeah, those are pretty much the plans. And, yeah, so I think we're going to close it, guys. I think we're going to close the Instagram. hopefully next time I'm gonna go ahead and let the viewers know exactly when I'm gonna be going live. That way, hopefully at least one or two people tune in or something, and that way, we have some back and forth. But as of now, I'm gonna turn it off because there's just nobody tuning in. I don't think anybody's gonna tune in. Plus, I'm kind of reaching my limit here of the room itself. Like I said, I always have to have a time limit to borrow the studio here, and plus I actually need to go, so it's not like I can extend it. I would extend it if I needed to, but for today I need to go. I have other stuff to do, so we're gonna have to cut it short here. But yeah, we're actually gonna turn this Instagram live off now. Let me see. Let me go in here. How do I even turn this off? Oh yeah, right there. All right. Live has ended. No more. Nada. All right. So thank you to all the 0 followers that tuned in to my live at the TFF.podcast. Anyway, guys, I kind of expected it. I didn't announce it. I didn't let everybody know I was going to go live anyway. So I was expecting somebody to just go live randomly. Maybe I'll go live on my personal, but that's not the one I want to promote. I want to go live on my actual podcast one. That's the one I want to grow. That's the one where I want to focus here and do this kind of stuff. Maybe in my actual one, there might have been more people who tuned in and stuff, but we're going to try next time. We're going to try next time. All right. So that's the end of the podcast. Make sure you subscribe at the Foodie Filmmaker here on YouTube. Like I said, I have some ideas coming. If you have any ideas of what you think I could possibly do in this channel as well, let me know. Let me know what kind of videos you like to see, what kind of topics you like me to explore, and we'll be sure to do that. Other than that, yeah, so subscribe. Make sure you follow. Obviously, follow the Foodie Filmmaker on Instagram, tff.podcast. The link is down below. If you guys just want to click the link below. It's down there. You guys can go ahead and click on that, and it'll take you straight to the Instagram, and you guys can follow. That way, next time that I go live, you get notified that I'm going live. You guys can tune in, say what's up, and everything. While I'm recording, and then you can see the recording here on YouTube later, and that'll be kind of cool and sick, right? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you to everybody who's been watching the episodes. I know people still watch them on YouTube later, when they're uploaded. So thank you to everybody for the support. I will be having the guest coming in soon, very soon. Very, very soon. I'm going to have at least one coming in this month. I'm going to do my best, try to organize everything. But like I said, I'm very, very busy, so I got a lot going on. So it's a little crazy, but it will happen. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.